Yeah, I did change, and I'm really glad I changed.
This one's wife. With love, Meghan. Does she want to be hated? Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. This one's wife's trailer for the clusterfuck which is With Love, Meghan appeared last week and has found itself subjected to a huge amount of publicity, massive amounts of comments. However, all is not as this one's wife would want, since much of the commentary is critical. Much of the commentary is ridicule. And this, as you all know, is problematic for a narcissist such as this one's wife, as it threatens her innate need for control. The reaction of people to this trailer and the forthcoming series is, by some extent, not a surprise. After all, those of you that are listening to me are unlikely to be fans of this one's wife. You have formed the view that indeed, guided by my excellent work, she is an unlikable narcissist. You have most likely been following her progress over a number of years, and many of you will be wanting her to have her comeuppance. Nevertheless, what is of particular interest following the appearance of this trailer and the promise of the forthcoming series is the increased extent to which the criticism has come forth, not only from the public as a whole, but also from those in the mainstream media. It is almost as if people have finally decided, we've had enough of you. Whilst there have always been dissenting voices in relation to this one's wife, they have come through loud and clear. And this has prompted one commentator to pose the question, does this one's wife want us to hate her? Madeleine Osborne, writing in The Federalist, asks that question. And her short article is rather interesting in terms of positing some suggestions as to what this one's wife's game plan may now well be. Ms. Osborne writes, there are plenty of reasons to hate this one's wife. So why did she just give us a whole Netflix season of more ammo? From stabbing the royal family in the back after having her entire life subsidized by British taxpayers, to earning $25 million from Spotify for a few middling podcast episodes. This one's wife is a villainous figure who rakes in hate, not the praise and fandom she is clearly desperate for. Now, pausing there, Ms. Osborne really cranks it up by referencing it as hate. Much of what comes the way of this one's wife isn't hatred. It's disgust, it's contempt, it's dislike, it's annoyance, it's irritation. Yes, there will be some who hate her, but the vast majority it is not as strong as emotion as that. Nevertheless, she continues by writing, when this one's wife made her grand return to Instagram this new year, after dramatically quitting social media in 2021, it wasn't for funsies. It was to announce and promote her new 8-part Netflix show, With Love, Meghan. From the teaser trailer she shared, the series appears to be this one's wife's best attempt at LARPing, I think that's live-action role-playing, Martha Stewart with her celebrity pals on her $15 million Monty Shit Show compound. As we know, it didn't take place there. I'm going to share some tips and tricks, this one's wife says as she peruses the flower market and sprinkles dried flowers on top of glazed donuts. We're not in the pursuit of perfection, we're in the pursuit of joy, she explains with an acute degree of inauthenticity. The copy is dripping with feigned platitudes, and the images are suspiciously rife with royal rip-offs. This trailer is so cringe-inducing that it physically makes my eyes twitch. Pausing there. Unsurprising observations shared by many people with regard to the reaction to this trailer, and another individual that has homed in on the inauthenticity of this one's wife. The author continues by stating what's most surprising about this product is that there was no one close enough to her to wave their hands and gently guide her in the complete opposite direction. When Netflix came knocking, what pitches did she turn down when she opted for this ballerina farm wannabe vanity project? Did no one who loves her suggest a series with a bit more sympathetic angle? A reality show where she helps down-and-out folks find a new home. A docu-series where she visits small but beautiful American cities, highlighting everyday heroes. I'm just shooting from the hip, and these may not be streaming hits, but the fact that no one close to her advised her against her casual yet glamorous homemaker shtick, or they did and she didn't listen, which, as you all know, is more likely to be the case, says a lot about the type of person she surrounds herself with. Ironically, that's also what we mainly learn from the teaser trailer guest list, that this one's wife spends her time arranging flowers and beekeeping with some of the most affluent and out-of-touch celebrities in her Hollywood bubble. This is probably one of the most glamorous moments of my life, gushes Mindy Kaling. And it's important to clarify here that snobbery does not come from the idea of picture-perfect homemaking. This type of nearly unattainable farm-to-table perfection is what skyrocketed and sustained Martha Stewart, Ina Garten, Ballerina Farm, and waves of Instagram influencers following in their footsteps. Women do not loathe these women for their ideas or talents. We gobble them up and strive to emulate their recipes and cabinet paint colours in our own kitchens. No. It's the laughable idea that the privileged princess, the Hollywood actress turned diva sister-in-law and royal girl digger, who excommunicated her husband from his family, is someone we trust as a source for bringing joy and life into our own homes. And that is an astute observation. In order to engage with an audience, this one's wife needs to make them trust her. Nobody does. Why would you trust an individual that has lied and lied and lied again? Why would you trust an individual who entered the royal family and thought that she could take it down? She's not somebody that's going to be seen to be getting away with that. Why would you trust an individual that has revised her history repeatedly? Why would you trust an individual who has told lies and is a bully? You would not. Time and time again she has demonstrated, as a consequence of the compartmentalization and in-the-moment obsession of her narcissism, to be a wholly untrustworthy individual, inconsistent, contradictory, and a hypocrite. Thus, while she would want to trade in the currency of trust, nobody wants that particular currency that she is wielding, because people do not trust her. The author concludes by stating the only plausible explanation for this one's wife's vanity project is that she relishes his victimhood so much that she doesn't care what the haters say, because their critiques and comments sustain her signature victim mentality. Knowing she will never be the beloved people's princess like her late mother-in-law, she stopped trying and settled for the loathed Queen of Monty Shitshow. Now, whilst it might be understandable that that would be the conclusion as to the direction that this one's wife has gone, namely, she now actively wants to be hated, it isn't accurate. This one's wife wants to be loved. Why? Because as a mid-range narcissist of the type that she is, she firmly and entrenchably believes that she is lovable, that she is admirable, that she is adorable. She genuinely, and I've told you this before, does not understand why she is disliked. She recognizes that she's disliked. She knows that she's disliked. After all, she can read and she can hear. but she doesn't accept it. I've told you before about highly provocative narcissists that thrive on hatred. They love it. They love engaging in some shithousery, some rage baiting, because the frothing and gurning and swivel-eyed bigoted responses that they receive, they love because they've caused it to happen. And they don't care because it just bounces off them. It just gives them the fuel that they seek. And they just look upon those individuals as they rage impotently against that individual as shadows that are far beneath them. But for this one's wife, she wants to be loved. She believes she ought to be loved. She wants the adoration because she thinks, driven by her narcissism, that she is a wonderful, kind, empathic individual. When the dislike and the criticisms and the adverse comments come her way, her narcissism deals with this by rejecting it as the outpourings of bigoted, racist, misogynist haters. And thus, that feeds into her victim narrative. But she doesn't want to be hated. She doesn't want to be the pantomime villain. She doesn't want to be the loathed queen. She wants to be loved. She wants to be admired and adored, because that is how she sees herself. That is the skewed perspective, the shattered mirror through which she sees herself, that shattered mirror being her narcissism. Rather than being able to realize what she truly is, an empty, manipulative individual that craves the response of people, that is selfish, vain, argumentative, resentful, that is always fighting to fill the emptiness within and to nullify the threats to control, she cannot see any of that. She believes that she's a hard-done-to individual that doesn't deserve the criticisms and simply dismisses them. Her narcissism isn't designed to thrive on being disliked. Her narcissism has been generated on the basis that she is a queen, that she is to be loved and admired. And whilst much of what this columnist writes is accurate, her conclusion is not correct, in particular to this narcissist. This one's wife wants you to love her. The problem is, that boat sailed a very long time ago. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.